When the surrounding muscle is stripped away, the isolated human spine is a shockingly fragile structure. On its own, it completely buckles under gravity. 90 newtons of force, less than your upper body's weight, crushes an unsupported spine. Your core prevents this as a 3D muscular box with 29 muscle pairs. It's capped by the diaphragm, supported by the pelvic floor, locked by front abdominals, and reinforced by back glutes. When functioning properly, this system effortlessly absorbs and distributes force. But a modern lifestyle built around sitting in chairs for hours on end causes these deep stabilizing muscles to go dormant and weaken. We generally view a weak core as a cosmetic issue, a bit of extra belly fat. That focus on aesthetics blinds us to the severe structural hazard taking shape beneath the surface. Walking around with a deactivated core leaves the spine exposed. Without a functional muscular box to brace against upper body weight, the skeletal column becomes mechanically unstable under even the simplest daily loads. Look at the connections between individual vertebrae. Healthy vertebrae operate within a restricted range of motion called the neutral zone. Deep core muscles lock this zone in place. When they weaken, the vertebrae slide erratically beyond their natural limits. Suddenly, simple everyday movements like carrying groceries or bending to tie your shoes force these unsecured bones to shift, slide, and grind. This constant friction acts like internal sandpaper. It inflicts repetitive, microscopic traumas to the spinal discs and slowly pinches the surrounding nerve roots. Chronic lower back pain rarely strikes because of a single heavy lift. It is the cumulative devastation of a spine surviving for years without deep muscular stabilization. A healthy core is a rigid conduit, transferring force seamlessly from your lower body through your torso and out your arms. If the core fails, the torso buckles. Generated force dissipates wildly into your midsection, creating an energy leak. Your body still has to execute the movement, so it compensates. Peripheral joints like your knees and shoulders are suddenly forced to absorb extreme mechanical loads that the core failed to handle. The common instinct is to fix this weakness by hitting the floor and doing hundreds of traditional sit-ups and crunches. That is the exact opposite of what the spine needs. Forcing the spine into bending forward and twisting under load, the exact motion of a crunch, is a primary biomechanical mechanism for herniating a disc. Crunches isolate the superficial rectus abdominis, the six-pack muscles. Building aesthetic muscle there without repairing the deep stabilizers underneath is like putting a shiny coat of paint on a collapsing bridge. Blindly chasing visible abs actually accelerates the kinetic chain's collapse. You leave the body looking perfectly fit while remaining structurally broken. Repairing the kinetic chain requires prioritizing the resistance of motion. The core's primary biological purpose is to block movement, not to create it. To regain structural safety, you must follow a strict protocol of progressive stabilization. This means mastering zero-movement exercises entirely before adding any dynamic weights or heavy loads to a routine. The starting line relies on two foundational techniques: drawing the navel end to fire up the deepest muscle layers, and abdominal bracing to lock down the entire lumbo-pelvic hip complex. Once braced, you safely re-educate the deep muscles with static holds. Movements like planks, the dead bug, and Pallof presses force the core to hold strong against gravity and rotational tension without ever bending the spine. Over time, these specific exercises restore intervertebral stability. The deep stabilizers clamp back down on those erratic vertebrae, shrinking the dangerous neutral zone back to its tight natural limits. Returning to this stabilized zero-movement baseline is a mandatory biological prerequisite. Whether you are a professional athlete or an office worker, attempting strength or power training before mastering this stability invites injury. A truly strong core provides your ultimate internal insurance policy. It is the only proven way to defy gravity, halt the silent chain reaction of chronic joint pain, and maintain lifelong functional freedom.